All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our Major League Baseball video here today for Thursday, June 3rd. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally here today, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. And despite another little bit of a down day yesterday on my Patreon page there, we're still 5-2 in our last 7 extra daily pick tier package plays on that Patreon site. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also 4-2 in our last 6 board member tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. We currently have over 950 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, guys, we're going to start off with our 7 o'clock slate. The Marlins take on the Pirates, 7:05 Eastern start time in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Pirates are minus $1.15 at home. Total 7.5 juice to the over. Tyler Anderson for the Pirates, Eliezer Hernandez for Miami. Despite their struggles here recently, the Marlins are in the top 10 in the majors in fewest runs allowed per contest. They're giving up just 3.7 runs a game. They're also in the top 10 in fewest walks allowed as well. They're taking on a last place Pittsburgh club who's won only 10 of 25 at PNC Park. The Pirates are currently 14 games below 500, and they also lost 9 out of their last 11. The Pirates arguably have the worst lineup in all of baseball at the plate. They're dead last in the league in scoring on average per game, and they're actually averaging just 3.3 runs per contest. Now, total-wise, no real surprise here. The Pirates are 31-23 to the under for the entire season. Miami 60% to the under as the away team themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Miami Marlins plus $1 and the under 7.5. Next ball game, it is going to be D-backs versus the Brewers, 7:40 East. Milwaukee's minus 175, numbers 9. Brett Anderson for Milwaukee, John Duplantier for Arizona. Now, John comes into today's start with a 7.71 ERA and a 1.93 whip in very limited action. The last place D-backs are also 17 games below 500. And they got the W in just 9 out of 30 road games. This Arizona's lineup is in the bottom 3 in offensive hits on the road. They're taking on a Milwaukee club who won 5 out of their last 6. This Milwaukee pitching staff is also in the top 3 in strikeouts, and they give up less than 7 hits a game. Now, total-wise, 6 out of Milwaukee's last 10 meetings with Arizona stayed under the total. The D-backs have also gone 60% to the under when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward the Milwaukee Brewers minus 175 and the under 9 runs. Next matchup, Twins Royals 8:10 East. The Kansas City Royals are minus 115, totals 9.5 flat. Chris Bubich for the Royals, Jay Happ from Minnesota. Happ's got a 5.24 ERA and 16 walks. The Twins have lost 3 out of their last 4 ball games. And they currently find themselves in last place in the AL Central at 11 games below 500. Now, the Twins have also gotten the W in only 10 of 26 road games. Their pitching staff is in the bottom 3 in road runs allowed. Now, they're taking on a Royals club who's on a 3-game winning streak themselves, 7-3 straight up in their last 10. The Royals currently have a winning record overall for the season, as well as a winning home record as well. Chris Bubich comes into today's outing with a 1.52 ERA and a 1.11 whip. When it comes to the total in this one, the Royals are 17-10 to the over at Kauffman Stadium. Minnesota's 18-8 to the over on the road. I'm going to lean toward the Kansas City Royals minus 115 and the over 9.5. Next game, Tigers White Sox 8:10 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The Chicago White Sox are minus 210, numbers 8. Lance Lynn for Chicago, Casey Mize for Detroit. Mize is just 3-3 on the year and walked 20 batters. Detroit's currently 9 games below 500, and they got the W in just 10 of 27 road games. This Detroit lineup's in the bottom 3 in scoring on average per contest, and they find themselves crossing the plate only 3.7 times a game. They're taking on a first-place White Sox organization who's 11 games over 500, and they play their absolute best baseball at Guaranteed Rate Field. Chicago's currently 20-9 straight up as the home team, and they successfully cashed in on the run line 17 times during that home stretch. This White Sox pitching staff also allows only 3 runs a game on their home field. Lance Lynn is 6-1 thus far in the season with a 1.20 ERA and a .91 whip. Now the righties also struck out 57 batters in just over 52 innings pitched. Now total-wise, Chicago's 18-11 to the under on their home field, 31-24 to the under for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Tigers are currently 34-21 to the under for the entire year themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Chicago White Sox minus 1.5 and the under 8 runs. Next matchup, Reds, Cards, 8:15 East. The St. Louis Cardinals are minus 150, totals 8.5. Adam Wainwright for St. Louis, Vlad Gutierrez for Cincy. Now the Reds are currently 5 games under 500 right now, and they've gotten the W in only 12 of 27 road games. The Cincinnati pitching staff's dead last in runs allowed, bottom 3 in walks allowed as well. They're taking on a St. Louis club who's won 5 out of their last 8. They currently find themselves with a 15-10 record at Busch Stadium. The St. Louis pitching staff is in the top 10 in hits allowed at home, and they give up just 3.9 runs a game at Busch Stadium. Adam Wainwright comes into today's start with a 1.22 whip and 57 total strikeouts. And speaking of the, I guess we weren't speaking of the scoring, but when it comes to the scoring in this one, St. Louis is 16-9 to the under on their home field. Cincy's 5-4 to the under in their last 9 divisional road games. I'm going to lean toward the St. Louis Cardinals minus 150 and the under 8.5. Next matchup, Mariners, Angels, 9:38 Eastern start time. The Los Angeles Angels are minus 155, numbers 9 flat. Griffin Canning for the Angels, Justice Sheffield for Seattle. And although Sheffield's just 4-4 thus far in the season, the Mariners do have a good amount of run line cashes on the road. As a matter of fact, when they play the American League, they're 14-7 against the number on the road. The Seattle lineup is in the top 10 in fewest strikeouts at the plate away from home as well. Mitch Henninger leads the club in home runs with 14 of them. He's also knocked in 36 and has 115 total bases. Meanwhile, Ty France has an on-base percentage of .342, along with a dozen doubles on the season. They're taking on an Angels club who's currently 5 games below 500, and they have a losing home record. The Angels are also cashing in on the run line in just 40% of their home games. This Angel pitching staff is in the bottom 3 in runs allowed, dead last in walks allowed at home. Griffin Canning also comes into today's start with a 5.40 ERA and a 1.43 whip. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, LA is currently 19-8 to the over at Angel Stadium. LA is also 31-24 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Mariners are 17-9 to the over as the road team themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Seattle Mariners plus 1.5 and the over 9 runs. Next matchup, Cubs versus the Giants, 9:45 East. The San Francisco Giants are minus 130 at home, totals 8 juice to the over. Anthony DeSclafani for the Giants, Zach Davies for the Cubs. Now Davies is just 2-2 with a 4.65 ERA and a 1.63 whip. The righties walked 27 batters compared to just 29 strikeouts. And despite a really good run for Chicago over the past couple of weeks here, they still have a losing road record, and they rank in the bottom 5 in hits allowed away from home. Even on the offensive side of things, the Cubbies, they're averaging nearly double-digit strikeouts a game at the plate. Now they're taking on a first-place Giants club who's 13 games above 500 for the season. The Giants have also been really good at Chase Field this year, winning 15 of 23 home games. They're also in the top 3 in fewest walks allowed, and they find themselves giving up only 3.5 runs a game on their home field. Anthony DeSclafani's 4-2 thus far in the year, 3.56 ERA and a 1.15 WHIP. Now, total-wise, San Francisco's 12-11 to the under as the official home team. Meanwhile, the Cubs are 14-10 to the under when they bat first, 34-21 to the under for the entire year. I'm going to lean toward the San Francisco Giants minus 130 and the under 8 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final free pick for the video, and it is going to be Mets versus the Padres, 10:10 Eastern first pitch. The San Diego Padres are minus 170, number 6.5. Yu Darvish for San Diego, Taijuan Walker for New York. Now, Walker's 4-1 with a 1.84 ERA and a .94 WHIP. The first place Mets are currently 6 games above 500, and they find themselves 4.5 games ahead of the Phillies and Braves in the standings. This Mets pitching staff, is in the top 10 in strikeouts, top 5 in hits allowed. New York's giving up only 3.6 runs per game. They've also picked up the W in 6 out of their last 7 ball games. They're taking on a Padres club who's on a 4-game losing streak themselves. They averaged only 2.5 runs a game during that stretch. And if you want to get some value on the run line with San Diego, just keep in mind they've cashed in on just 11 out of 25 run line plays at home against the National League. Now, total-wise, San Diego's 17-11 to the under at home. New York's 27-21 to the under for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the New York Mets plus 1.5 and the under 6.5 runs. And with that, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Miami plus $1 under 7.5. Milwaukee minus 175 under 9 runs. Kansas City minus $1.15 over 9.5. Chicago White Sox minus 1.5 under 8 runs. St. Louis minus 150 under 8.5. Seattle plus 1.5 over 9 runs. San Francisco minus 130 under 8 runs. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 5-2 in our last 7 extra daily pick tier package plays on my Patreon website. We're also 4-2 in our last 6 board member tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the New York Mets plus 1.5 and the under 6.5 runs. And if you found yourself really enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you're new here today or this week, please feel free to welcome yourself to the Brock Page family here by hitting that subscribe button as well. I'd love to connect with you on a daily basis. But with that in mind, guys, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today on my Patreon website, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.